Alrighty, welcome back, guys. Back here for another episode. Sorry, back here for another episode of our Dumpster Talk podcast. Today we have two special guests with us. We have Tad Renner and we have Dwight Bechtold. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank
on with
you.
us.
Thanks for coming on.
Just told us
Thank
this
you.
is their first podcast, so
Yep.
gonna be some hard pressing questions. So you guys better be ready.
Buckle up.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, you guys are here with the High Center. Todd and I, we've been working here at SODS for a little over 5 years for myself. Same with Todd. And we've done a lot of events with the High Center and everything. And also, we're just talking. We're involved in the peer groups there, so we'll get into all that, kind of what you guys offer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to start off with just a background on each of yourselves, and yeah, kind of talk through your career, maybe your early life, whatever you like to get into.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Of course,
We are-
thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I was born and raised not far from here in Mountville, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
And went to Elizabethtown College. And then after college, I started to work at Armstrong in their floor division. I was a sales rep for Armstrong. And I was there for a while and then went with the Wolf organization in building materials. And I was there 21 years. And had a nice career in both sales and sales management. So,
Perfect. Thank you. What about you?
I spent the last 20 years before I came to the High Center. My wife and I owned a toner cartridge remanufacturing company and print management company.
Wow.
So we did that for about 20 years. And then I came to the High Center after we sold the company in 2016. So almost, I'm starting my 10th year in November.
Wow. So it's for like for printers, like the little.
Right.
There you go.
It was the bigger ones.
Oh,
The
okay.
toner cartridge, not the little inkjets.
Okay.
But we did those two.
Wow. Yeah, my pap works for, and also our buddy, his dad works in like industrial printing presses. So is it kind of something like that?
No, it's more the printers that you would use in an office.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
we had a lot of business with banks and colleges and newspapers around the country.
Wow. That's interesting.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. What kind of drew you guys to joining the High Center, joining their team there?
We sold our company in 2016, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was too young to retire, and I had been involved in peer groups through a group called Vistage early on in my career, and thought they were extremely helpful. And I found out about this managing director's position at the High Center, and I thought, man, I might be able to do something like that and help people who I used to be and still stay active with that. So I came on board in November of 2016 and have absolutely had a blast ever since.
What
Great.
about you, Dwight?
I retired 5 years ago, and I had a friend that was at the time working at the High Center, Len Kopek, and he and I knew each other for 30 years. And he said, "Hey, what are you going to do when you retire?" I said, "Man, I have no idea." He said, "Well, I got something I think would be right up your alley." And he said, "I enjoy it." And he told me about what he did, and they had a position open up, and I applied, and it's been a great fit for me as far as a retirement job.
Perfect. Thank you guys for kind of sharing that. For the listeners at home, what is the High Center if they might not know?
It was started in 1995. In fact, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary by Dale High, who was a graduate of E-Town. And it was a program to strengthen family businesses. Depending on what study that you look at, only 11 to 17% of the family businesses make it to the third generation. So Dale gave some money to E-Town College to start a family business center. And it's been in existence for 30 years, and we have close to 300 members and the largest family business center in the United States.
Oh my goodness. I did not realize it was the biggest one in the US. That's really awesome.
Our member companies have revenues of about $22 billion and 38,000 employees.
Wow.
So from Lehigh Valley down to York County. So it's not small. We're pretty quiet about it, probably too quiet. We'd like to yell from the rooftops so we
Yeah.
could help some more companies.
For sure.
How do you guys kind of handle that many kind of members? Because I know you have a team of 8 people, I believe.
It's now 10. We've got 8 directors and about half of them are part-time. People like Dwight who are having a retirement career, and there are 3 or 4 of us who are full-time, and we divide up those member companies initially by whoever had the contact to bring them in, but now we're kind of dividing them up by region. So we have a director who's in charge of the Lehigh Valley region, and one for York, and one for Lancaster County, a couple in Lancaster County. So that's how we end up doing it. We cap out at about a part-time person, maybe 25 member companies, and a full-time person can handle about 50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you want to just go through kind of what benefits a company would get through joining the High Center, and kind of I talked about the peer groups. Obviously, you guys host events. You just want to talk about all the different things you do?
Sure. We really do 3 things. One, we try to help companies figure out what they don't know. And we do that by doing a best practice survey with the member. And that's for the owner, leadership team, executive team. And we essentially ask about 35 or 36 questions. They tell us the answers. It's all confidential and anonymous. And then we go back and we present the results to them. So we essentially hold up the mirror to say, this is what you guys told us. We don't know who said what, but this is the way things are looking, and this is what your company thinks about how it's doing. Once we get that done, then we will have people that come to our leadership speaker series. And that's a set of leadership talks, about 4 a year. And
Okay.
that's a morning event that you guys have been to.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have anywhere between 200 and 300 people at those. We now have one that's we have it up at Kutztown University, and then one in Lancaster County. So we've had to split them up a little bit because we've gotten bigger.
Yeah.
So we get most of the topics for those speakers from peer groups. And then the peer groups is where we hold you accountable for doing the things you tell us you're going to do.
Yeah.
We have 8 to 10 people, peers in a group. We have a facilitator or 2 who lead that group. And it's really a safe space where those owners and key executives can talk about whatever they need to talk about and get help from people who have either been through it or have some good ideas.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I wanted to kind of pick your guys' brain just about the peer groups, because we're on the other side of it, kind of being in it. And then I guess that's good insight to know that you were in a peer group before you came to the High Center. What was your favorite part of kind of being in it, and then also what do you guys enjoy about running those?
Yeah, thank you. I was not in a peer group. In fact, ironically, my wife, the first 6 months that I worked for the High Center, I'd come home and she'd say, "You're really enjoying this, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "I wish when I was in my 40s I was in a peer group."
Yeah.
Because what I like is the way Tad and Mike have set up the peer group. There's the format is such that you learn to develop relationships with people. There's a basic financial accounting, and like Mr. Wonderful says on Shark Tank, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So people have to learn their numbers of their company. And then half of the format that Tad set up is about problem solving. And of course, as you know, decisions is key, in making decisions in business. You make good ones, you do well. You make bad ones, not so well. And so I like the idea that the format's set up to develop certain skill sets. But more importantly, what I really enjoy is seeing people grow. I've had 3 or 4 people in the peer groups in the last several years that I could just see as they came in, they just grew. And that's so rewarding, is to see somebody come in, they're nervous, they're in an environment with new people, and then all of a sudden you can just see them grow and blossom and flourish. And a couple of them have been really good leaders, where veteran people in the group have come to me and say, that person has really come on. And that's the most rewarding part of my job with the High Center, is seeing people grow in the peer groups.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's been great being a part of them. I know we always mess around. My first meeting was the morning after my 21st birthday. So it's kind of just like unforgettable, but the knowledge, and it helps like having different people from different industries. I'm the youngest person in our group, and I'm able to learn pretty much any question that I have. Someone in that group has kind of been through already. So kind of being able to pick their brain. The biggest thing I learned is that you get what you kind of put into it. So kind of being more outward and kind of asking for help, and like the problem solving thing, I probably wasn't the best at in the past. But now when I come to meetings, I try to have something, because we meet every other month. So something pops up in those 60 days. So just getting them up on the board is awesome. We can kind of shift towards, why do you think the peer group interaction is so important for like the business owners and key executives, especially with the family business?
I think there are a lot of times that you want to talk to somebody who's not in your family about business things, relationships, how you're going to move forward. And a lot of the people in peer groups have already been through these kinds of situations. You may have somebody who's in a third generation business and you're in a first, and you're wondering how you're going to work on succession planning. There's going to be somebody in the room who's probably been through that. So I found that even though when you're running a company, you ought to be able to talk to everybody, there's still some things that you need to go somewhere else and talk about. And those people in those rooms keep everything confidential. Everything that happens in the room stays in the room. So you can really unload and talk about things that you might not be able to talk about to employees or sometimes even to family members.
Yeah. What about you, Dwight? Do you have anything to share on that?
I think what Tad said I'd like to pick up on is, again, it develops the skill sets that you're looking for in a business that you might not get in an environment. As Tad said, sometimes you can't share with people above you, and you can't share with people below you. And so who are you going to go ahead and confide in? And what you said is really true, is the way they're set up. We have different disciplines in there. You might have somebody that's a vice president of human resource. You might have somebody that's head of ops. You might have somebody that's VP of sales. And so you get the problem solving from different aspects and different perspectives. And that really helps the person that has an issue, and they put it on the table and say, hey, here's my issue. How would you handle it? And the really good peer groups, the genius of a peer group, the way Tad has set them up, is it's not the facilitator. The genius of the peer group is everybody coming together. The facilitator might have 20 or 30 or 40 years experience. You have 8 to 10 people in there. They all have 20 or 25 experience. You have 250 years of experience, and that's where the genius comes, when everybody gets together and helps build and lift everybody up.
Yeah, I love how everyone kind of is different in different seats. Like I know you said at our last peer group, every peer group has 2 CFOs in it, or at least
Not necessarily, but it works out. There are usually a couple of finance people.
Yeah, and that's helped me, because that was my biggest struggle coming in, was knowing the numbers. So going in and having Ben and Nate and everyone in our peer group kind of being open to explaining the numbers and not kind of looking at you funny for not knowing it, but instead helping you, has been huge for me, for sure. How would you say, what's the easiest way for a company to join a peer group? Because I'm sure you guys are growing very quickly. How can people kind of reach out to you guys, whether it's your website or what's the best route for that?
Probably the easiest route is to go to our website, which is thehighcenter.com. And we have links on there you can click and get in touch with us. You need to be a member company. So the company is a member of the High Center. And then after that, up to 3 people from that company can get involved in peer groups, usually 1 in the CEO level and then 2 key execs. Like Dwight said, in the key exec groups, you have somebody from HR and sales and operations. And so they all hear about the problems that other people in their company have that they may not know about. In the CEO level groups, we may have a builder with a metal recycler, with a marketing company. So you get ideas that are outside of your expertise and just get a little bit out, and all of a sudden you can solve a problem that you had no idea how to do that. But the best way to get in touch with us is either talking to a member or going on our website.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you guys want to talk about just as your team is growing, and I'm sure there's definitely plans to keep growing further, and then you guys have to, I guess, as there's more groups, you have to bring on more people onto your team. Is there any values that you guys kind of base yourself on when looking for a new member?
Yeah, but there are certain demographics that we're looking for or requirements. We're usually looking for a firm that's at least $3 million in total sales with 12 to 20 employees. But the key thing that we're really looking for is the firm willing to learn? Are they willing to go ahead and invest the time? Because what Tad and Mike did the first 6 months I was there was really beneficial. They put me in 6 peer groups, and I was the note taker. And that was really beneficial for me because when I took the notes, when I went to type them up to submit them, I saw there was a common pattern in many of the comments of all the executives. And it was they're there to help, and they're there to learn, and they're there to give. And most of the people, they could be doing something else with their time. They're all busy people, they're all executives. But really, what they were there for was number one, to learn and better themselves, better their employees, and better their company. And they were also there to give. And that came out loud and clear after 6 months sitting in 6 peer groups, taking the notes every other month. That really just stood out to me. In fact, I shared it at one of our level 10 meetings. Is the people that come to the High Center and join the peer groups, it's a certain person that's really looking to improve and learn themselves, improve and learn their people, improve and learn their company.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
What are some of the? Do you have like other plans to kind of grow the High Center? Is there anything else you're kind of looking to offer, or just grow what you have now?
Well, we have expanded into the nonprofit world. About 18 months ago, we hired a managing director to come on board to open up that area of business. And we've realized that even though nonprofits are a different beast than for-profit and family businesses, they still have succession issues. They still have employee issues. And they would still benefit from being around people like them in a peer group. So we now have 7 peer groups for nonprofits. So that's growing considerably. We just hired another managing director. We're moving into the capital area region. We have about 50 or 55 members, basically in Lancaster County. So we're moving across the river and up to the Harrisburg area.
It's great.
Then on the for-profit side, we've hired a managing director to handle Montgomery County. So we're kind of filling in the holes between Lehigh and York. We'll probably go into Chester next.
Awesome. I always wondered, how did the buddy visits kind of come about? That's one of my favorite parts about the peer group, because you do meet as 8 to 10 people, but those buddy visits are really where you can get kind of that one-on-one connection. And I've noticed, like, once you go to the next peer group after your buddy visit, you kind of just like seem like you're friends now. Not saying you weren't before, but you just know them a little bit more. How did that kind of come about?
I'll let Tad answer that because it's always been there since I was there, and I've been next month I'll be there 4 years. But I agree with you. I've been stressing that in my peer groups, and it's really taken off. And the best testimony on that is I had a person that was in the peer group, I don't know, 8-10 years, and one of the peer groups, he came in and he smiled and he said, I never was much for the buddy appointments, but I started doing them. And he said it's added a whole different aspect because you get to know the people on a personal level. And that's the genius of the peer group, as we said earlier, is people come in there, they let their guard down, they share, they learn, they give. And when you know somebody on a more personal level, you're more willing to do that. So the buddy appointments have been, especially when Tad adds a new member, it gets everybody closer real quick.
Yeah.
I think Mike must have set that up. It was certainly in place when I got there. And what a buddy appointment is, for those that don't know, sometime between this meeting and the next, so you have a 2-month period, we assign you somebody to get together with to either have a cup of coffee or go look at their facility. In one group years ago, we had 2 pilots, and when they had their buddy appointment, they would fly.
Yeah.
We don't have too many of those, but it makes that tie to other people in the room deeper. And you're exactly right. When you come to a peer group meeting after a buddy appointment, it's like you've got a little deeper understanding of that person sitting next to you.
Yeah. And you can kind of feel more vulnerable and kind of like empathy for that person, because you get to kind of learn kind of the background of like what they might be dealing with outside of work, or like most of the time it shocks me because you always have like kind of like a read on someone, but it's always totally blown out of the water once you kind of meet with them and learn about kind of who they are. Could you guys think of kind of like a key mentor or influential leader that kind of had a big impact on your guys' career?
Sure. Two people come to mind. I was in North Carolina and struggling in sales big time. And my boss recommended I take a Dale Carnegie course. And I was fortunate enough to learn under Earl Taylor, who had the franchise for the whole state of North Carolina. And he eventually taught me to be a Dale Carnegie sales course instructor. And that really helped me with sales. I mean, a lot of people read books on sales, but I had a guy that was absolutely tremendous. And what he did was he would invite me over to his house on weekends and taught me the Dale Carnegie manuals and how to teach the course. And it really helped my career immensely. And then when I got into sales management, a man that Tad knows and I know, Len Kopek. And he took me under his wing, absolutely one of the best executives I've ever seen. He was good at vision. He was good at managing. He was a master at developing people, and he kind of took me under my wing and took me from being a salesman to being a sales manager and then executive level. And those two people were instrumental in my career.
Thank you for sharing that. What about you?
I would say my father-in-law. My dad was a federal government employee for 30 years, and he did really well, but he was never able to be rewarded for doing well and making that part of the government better. And we had conversations a lot growing up. You know, do you get frustrated about that? And he didn't, but I think I would have. My father-in-law owns a business, and I think he really exposed me to the things that you can do if you put your shoulder to the boulder and you decide this is what you want to do, own a business, grow it, and then if it goes well, great, that's for you. If it goes in the tank, that's on you too. So you have more responsibility for maybe the outcome of your life. So that was a big thing in my life.
It's great.
Thank you for sharing that.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you guys for sharing all that about the High Center. And Todd and I, we definitely have grown a lot from being in the peer groups. Like I said, I'm looking forward for my my business review next month. So, you guys want to shift kind of to more of just some of your personal life? I know if you guys want to talk about your family, kind of some hobbies you have outside of work.
Is there outside of work?
Yeah, I guess. Or I guess what it is it's different for everyone.
No, I think that our biggest hobby recently, last 4 years, is grandchildren.
Okay.
Our kids are in
Congrats.
Nashville, Tennessee, and Burlington, Vermont, and Florida. So nobody local. So we end up traveling to these spots to see.
Oh yeah.
Our kids think maybe we're coming to see them, but we're really going to see the grandkids.
Oh yeah.
Don't tell them that. They still think that they're at the top of the boat. But that's really been a lot of what we've done in the past 4 or 5 years.
Cool.
Really enjoy it. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Tad, I retired and I have 3 sons and I have 10 grandchildren.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they're very athletic. We have 4 of our grandsons wrestle,
Oh, yeah.
and we like to go watch them wrestle. One's at Bucknell, and the other 2 are here in the States. One's accepted a scholarship at Lehigh.
That's really
So,
good.
yeah, so we like that. And then Deb and I are very active in our church. And so, like Tad, we like to spend time with our children, our grandchildren, and then other time we have, we like to give it to the Lord and in the church.
That's great.
Thank you for sharing that. No, it's been great kind of getting to know you guys. We were very young coming into this job, so being able to have good mentors has been awesome. The High Center alone has been great, like the peer groups, just kind of giving you more confidence. And like the other members in, especially my peer group, I can't speak for you, but they're very good at like kind of complimenting and kind of pushing you forward when you need it. So it's been really, really awesome.
What do you guys like to do when you're not working?
Yeah, we both. For me, I have a girlfriend I've been with for 2.5 years. Still close with a lot of my high school buddies, so do a lot of golfing. I was out this weekend. Still play video games a lot. Yeah, I don't know, kind of
Sounds like
Probably,
you.
probably the typical stuff, for sure.
We do a lot of similar stuff. We've been best friends since like 6th grade, I think.
Yeah.
So we're mostly with each other outside of work, but I hang out with my fiance. We've been together over 5 years now. Still live at my parents' house, just saving for a house, kind of not doing much now because how cold it is. But yeah, just hanging out with friends, fishing, lifting, and just really coming to work and just trying to do the best we can. I don't know. I always say it. I feel like we're really lucky to be, I don't want to speak for you again, but I think I can here. We really love our job. So being 23 and 24 and be able to say that is, I think we know that that's pretty uncommon and we're very lucky for that. So yeah, that's kind of what we get into. We don't really do much. Dan messes with us and says that we're stuck in our 1 mile radius because I live 2 minutes that way and he lives 2 minutes that way. But no, it works out great for us. We really appreciate you guys kind of taking the time to come on today. We always end up out with a finale question. It kind of changed over the years, but what advice do you wish someone kind of gave you when you're starting out your career? We're 23 and 24 now, so I was wondering if you had any advice for that.
You're up.
Yeah, the best advice that I had was I was going through the Armstrong training program, and one of the marketing managers in there saying that there's 3 things you should be. It's number one, if you're going to a job, is be organized. All right, because many times the people that are poor with time management have trouble getting their job done and getting it done well. Number 2, understand what your job is and stay focused on that. Don't look beyond it. He said what he used to see from recent college graduates that came to Armstrong, where they were always looking down the road at the next job and weren't focused on what the job they had now. And always be learning. Always be reading, always be learning, always try to be the best expert you can be, because our world rewards people that are really good at something. Nobody ever says to their wife, hey, I'm going to take you out to an average restaurant, or let's go look at an average movie. And his point was the only way you're going to be exceptional is if you work at it, if you study, if you try to be the best in your industry. And so they were 3 pieces of advice that from that marketing manager I still remember.
Thank you for sharing that. What about you?
So when a person joins a peer group, the first meeting they do a little introduction. One of the questions we ask them is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received? And I heard one that I had not heard before, and it has stuck with me. It's really important. And it is, never turn down an offered breath mint. So you may not know how bad your breath is, but somebody else does. And if they offer you a breath mint, take it, for sure.
That's good advice.
Okay.
Never thought of that. That's a good one. No, we really appreciate you guys. And if you guys are listening in and want to join a peer group, we'll have your guys' link kind of in the description so they can just click on it and join. We really appreciate you guys.
Great.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
guys.
Thank you. And
Thanks very much.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.